Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Today we are going to study the concept of indifference curve in our consumer behavior. We are now following the ordinal approach of consumer behavior in order to analyze how consumer will be able to maximize his total satisfaction within his given income and the prices of the two goods which he is consuming. Okay, in our last lesson, we studied how budget line can be drawn, the affordability line can be drawn given his income and the prices of the two goods. Budget line was not telling us anything about the consumer preferences. Okay, that was only telling us how many bundles of the two goods will be affordable by the consumer. How many bundles will be affordable by the consumers. So that is the main flux of budget line, in which we have taken the income of the consumer and at the same time the prices of the two goods. Then we had drawn the budget line and how will it shift and rotate due to changes in income and the prices of both the goods. Okay, today budget line was not telling us which bundle will be maximizing the consumer satisfaction or total utility. In order to see how utility can be seen or preferences of the consumers can be analyzed, we use another tool of ordinal approach that is called indifference curve. Indifference means what? Sometimes we consume two bundles, like there is a fish and we are having chicken over here. If fish is giving me more satisfaction than chicken, we say fish is strictly preferred over chicken. It is having more satisfaction than chicken. You might have experienced when you go to any fast food chain, this is given, there is a one burger which is available to the consumer and there is going to be another chicken deal. Okay, so you are having fixed income. Now both burger and chicken deals, they are giving you equal satisfaction. The satisfaction level is same, either you buy this one or this one. So if both the bundles, both the goods are giving you the same satisfaction, it means now you are just indifferent. This is a sign of indifference. Like if both the bundles, both the goods are giving the consumer equal satisfaction, then consumer will be indifferent. Here we find strict preferences. What is the strict? This sign is telling us fish is having more total satisfaction than chicken to the consumer. But here the satisfaction remains same. Consumer can afford one of them. Okay, when consumer is just indifferent that both the goods are giving him same satisfaction, or the different bundles of two goods, they are giving the consumer equal satisfaction, then we say the consumer is indifferent. So the curve which shows the bundles, the different combinations of bundles among which the consumer satisfaction remains same, the total utility of the consumer remains same, that curve is called indifference curve. What is indifference curve? We have to write its definition. So indifference curve is what? We denote it by indifference curve, IC. It shows the different combinations of two goods which give the consumer equal total utility or total satisfaction. When utility level remains same along different consumption bundles of the two goods, we say that curve is representing us what? The indifference curve. The consumer choices, consumer preferences can be represented by this curve. It is having a curve shape like this. Suppose consumer is at this point A, here he consumes more Y and less X. This bundle A gives him the same satisfaction as he moves on this bundle E, where he consumes more X and less Y. So both bundles are lying along the same indifference curve. So the total utility of the consumer along one indifference curve remains same. There is no change in total utility, a total satisfaction. So any bundle along this indifference curve will show the consumer that the total utility will remain same and he is not going to have the change in total utility. So one indifference curve shows that as consumer moves along one indifference curve, he is substituting one good with another, but his total satisfaction, total utility remains same along one indifference curve. Suppose consumer moves to this point B, this is point C, this is point D. So all these points are showing us the equal level of satisfaction by the consumer. So one indifference curve will show us one level of satisfaction. If consumer wants to achieve a higher level of welfare or satisfaction, he has to approach another higher indifference curve. So any indifference curve which is going away from, which is lying away from the origin, it will show the higher level of welfare of the consumer or higher level of satisfaction derived by the consumers from different goods. So we say there is a map of indifference curve. There is going to be a map of indifference curve. We can find different indifference curves available to the consumer. So one indifference curve will have one level of satisfaction. So if consumer is moving to the above or higher level of indifference curve, his welfare is going to increase. His satisfaction or welfare will be increasing. And if he is approaching a lower level of indifference curve, so from the two goods, his satisfaction will be lower than the higher indifference curve. Okay. This shows that there is going to be a map available to the consumer. So along one indifference curve, this utility, the indifference curve is having one level of total utility. This is having higher level. This is further higher. This is further higher. But keep it in mind, along one, the total satisfaction will remain same. Okay, now I want to tell you how can we find its slope. What happens? We found it that indifference curve is downward sloping. What do we mean by downward sloping? That if consumer decreases Y, he or she will increase what? X, or vice versa. If it decreases or she decreases X, so he or she will be increasing the quantity of Y. So both the quantities are moving in opposite direction. That's why we say it is downward sloping. So what is happening? Consumer is having 12 units of Y and 2 units of X over here. Here he finds 8 and here you can say 6 units of X. What consumer is doing? He is substituting Y with X. He is substituting Y with X. So what will be the slope of indifference curve? The slope of indifference curve that shows the rate of change. We can, as we see, this is not a straight line curve. It is having a curve. So in order to find its slope, we have to draw a tangent at any point. Like if we want to find slope here, or here we can see we have to draw a tangent. So tangent will be drawn and then we will be finding the gradient of that tangent. Anyhow, it shows that change in y due to change in x. If consumer wants to increase one extra unit of x, how many units of y he has to give up to remain along the same indifference curve? This will tell us the rate of change of the indifference curve. Its slope is equal to, negative sign shows us that if one commodity is decreased, another will be increasing. So they are moving in opposite direction. So its slope is equal to marginal utility of x over marginal utility of y. What does it mean? Its slope is also called marginal rate of substitution, MRS. MRS means marginal rate of substitution. You all know the meaning of marginal, isn't it? Marginal means extra. So extra, in order to have an extra unit of x, how many units of y will be given up in order to remain along the same indifference curve? So when consumer wants to consume more x, in our law of diminishing Marnage utility, we examined when more of one commodity is consumed, so for every extra unit, its Marnage utility will be decreasing. When consumer is consuming more of one commodity within same time, so as he is consuming more x, his Marnage utility of x will be decreasing. But when he consumes less of y, his Marnage utility will be increasing. So where we say Marnage utility of x is decreasing, but Marnage utility of y is increasing. But the total utility of the consumer will remain same, as the loss in Marnage utility of x will be the gain of the Marnage utility of y. The total utility will remain same. So you can find over here that you can find the slope of indifference curve is the ratio of the marginal utilities of two goods. How I am writing the marginal utilities? Here change in y is on the numerator and change in x is on the denominator. So I wrote marginal utility of x on numerator on the right side and marginal utility of y on the denominator. So they are reciprocal, or you can say inversely related to each other. So its slope, what is happening to its slope? The marginal utility ratio is diminishing, or we say here it is steeper. More y is given up to have less of x. So here more y units are substituted with less x. And if we move to this point, what is happening? Less y will be substituted with more x. So you can find here it is steeper, here it becomes flatter. So its slope, as consumer moves along the indifference curve, its slope is, or marginal rate of substitution is diminishing. What is happening? Diminishing. Like what it is diminishing? The perpendicular side of the triangle, previously more y was given up to get less s. Now less and less y. This is diminishing. This part is diminishing as he is consuming more x. Less of y will be given up to have more x. So its slope, as consumer moves along the curve on either side, you can say its slope from left to right, sorry. So its slope is diminishing, or minor rate of substitution is diminishing. Although its slope is downward sloping, it is negatively sloped, but the rate of substitution, the minor rate of substitution of the consumers along one indifference curve will be diminishing. So this is the main point, how consumer preferences can be shown By using the indifference curve, now all the points along one indifference curve are showing us the same level of satisfaction, whereas the other goods like the same level of satisfaction. So how to find the slope of the indifference curve? This is the way how to find the minor rate of substitution, and then we find it that minor rate of substitution or its slope, although it is negatively slope, but its slope is diminishing. Now I want to clear one more point. Okay, what is that point? That the two indifference curves do not intersect to each other. The two indifference curves do not intersect to each other. This is the point of explanation. Like, how can we define it? Like here we find x, here we find y. This is the indifference curve 1. This is another indifference curve 2. So here I deliberately intersected them in order to explain you that this is not possible that two indifference curves will be intersecting to each other. This point A is lying along both the indifference curves, indifference curve 1 and indifference curve 2. If I say this is point B, if A is lying along indifference curve 2, like A point is present on indifference curve, if we assume it, then the utility at point A will be the same as at utility at point B. So both the curves will be giving the consumer equal satisfaction at point A and B, as both are lying on the same indifference curve. Okay. Now if I say this indifference curve is lying along indifference curve 1, this point A is lying along indifference curve 1. Now these 2 points A and C will show us that the utility of the consumer or satisfaction of the consumer remains same at A and C. Both the points will give the consumer equal satisfaction. So can we say the satisfaction of consumer at B and C is also the same one? No. Why it is not same? Because B is lying along indifference curve 2, whereas C point is lying along indifference curve 1. So their satisfaction cannot be the same one. Therefore, we say indifference curves do not intersect to each other. Do not intersect to each other. So this is not possible that the two indifference curves will intersect to each other. All the points should be lying on one difference curve, should have the same level of satisfaction, whereas the points which are lying along another indifference curve, they should have a different level of satisfaction. So we cannot say that the two indifference curves are going to intersect with each other. Now, as we see, the consumers are consuming different types of goods. What are those goods? Like they are consuming complementary goods. Complements, they are consumed jointly with each other. So there can be different shapes of indifference curve. Like for complements, its shape will be like this. This is indifference curve. This is the indifference curve for the complements. All right. Now, if consumer is buying one pair of shoe, so this is the right shoe, this is the left shoe. So consumer will always be consuming at this point, because complements, they are consumed jointly, they are consumed with each other. So at this kink, consumer will remain at this kink. He is not going to have, like he is buying one side of the pair of shoe, that he is buying the right shoe, but he is not buying the left shoe. It is not the case. So he always buys the complete pair of the shoe, where right and left shoes, they are both used by the consumer. So this is the indifference curve of the complementary goods. Now what will be the shape of the indifference curve of the substitutes? What will be the shape of the substitutes. Okay, now we find when the goods are substitutes to each other, they are having this shape of the indifference curve. Substitutes means what? Like they are consumed instead of each other. Either consumes X only, the consumer will remain at this point when he consumes only X, the X commodity, or he consumes Y. There is no in between point of consumption of the consumer. He cannot have, like he's consuming Coke and Pepsi all together. It is not the case. He is either consuming Pepsi or he is consuming Coke, or he is taking a cup of tea or a cup of coffee. So one thing is consumed at one time. It does not mean that the mixture of the two goods are consumed by the consumer. So for substitutes, its indifference curve will be a straight line, downward sloping. Either he remains to stay at this point or at this point. There is no in between point. But in case of complements, the indifference curve will be having this shape, where the consumption bundle consumed by the consumer will be at this point of kink of the indifference curve. So this is, we say, how consumer choices can be shown by using the indifference curve analysis. So this, if we say, indifference curve is telling us the consumer preferences. It does not tell us about the affordability of the consumer. Like along one indifference curve, if I say the normally, we are having the normal indifference curve, this one. So all the bundles are equally preferred by the consumer. So which bundle will maximize the total utility and which bundle he or she is going to consume? So this cannot be shown. Affordability of the consumer cannot be represented by the indifference curve. The affordability of consumers, we studied the budget line of the consumer. So all the points along indifference curve are equally preferred, but we cannot say with certainty that utility is maximized here. This point is affordable or this point is affordable. In order to see the optimum consumption level where consumer will be in equilibrium, where will be the consumer equilibrium? It will be the point where his budget line is making a tangency condition with the highest attainable indifference curve. This is the budget line we studied in our last lesson. So now this is indifference curve. All right. So these points which are on the left of this point, tangency point, they cannot be afforded by the consumer within his income and prices. And the points on the left of this tangency, which are lying along indifference curve, they are also unaffordable by the consumer within given income and the prices of the two goods. Only the bundle, this bundle, where the slope of budget line or budget line is making a tangency condition with the budget line is making a tangency condition with the highest attainable indifference curve. That will tell us that at this bundle, this is affordable by the consumer. Suppose we say again the 6y and 3x. They are afforded by the consumer, and here the total utility of the consumer is also maximized. So this bundle will tell us the consumer will be in equilibrium when budget line is making a tangency condition with the highest attainable indifference curve. I said highest attainable. These are also indifference curves which are available, but they cannot be afforded until unless consumers' income increases to afford it. Like one person is nowadays using a motorbike, he cannot afford a car. So when his income increases, he will move on to another indifference curve a car will be having more welfare level than the motorbike, then his welfare will be increasing. Okay, so we say the higher indifference curve cannot be approached until unless his income level increases. So this is the highest attainable within his income, and the price is, can I say, at equilibrium. What is happening at equilibrium? At equilibrium point, at consumer's equilibrium, what is happening? Slope of budget line will be equal to slope of indifference curve, or we say change in y will be over change in x should equal to slope of budget line we studied minus price of x over price of y, and slope of indifference curve is minus marginality of x over marginality of y. So minus sign is cancelled out. So can we write the same result we achieved by using law of equimarginality and utility approach? We are reaching to the same conclusion, but by ordinal approach, like consumer will be in equilibrium when the price paid for the last unit is equal to the marginality of the last unit consumed, and price of y is also equal to marginality of y and price of y. Can I write in this way? Marginality of y over price of y should equal to marginality of x over price of x. That means each dollar spent on either y and x will give the consumer equal satisfaction. So consumer will be in equilibrium at the point where marginal utility ratio is equal to the price ratio of the budget line. So slope of indifference curve is equal to the slope of budget line. So this will be the consumer equilibrium point. Here the utility of the consumer will be maximized within his income and the prices of the two goods in the market. So I concluded my lesson. I started from indifference curve, gave its demonstration. Then I have shown you how consumer will reach to his equilibrium point where budget line, this is the budget line of the consumer, and budget line is making the tangency condition with the highest attainable indifference curve. That bundle is affordable and it is maximizing the total utility of the consumer. So that's all. If you have any question related to it, we are having the question answering session. If you still face problem, you can contact me. Okay. So you have this analysis. This is a very, very new concept. You haven't studied in your O level or in AS level. So keep studying, be in touch with the subject, be in touch with the lessons, practice them at home. You can find many of the material, okay, that will help you to understand the consumer equilibrium. That's all for today. Thank you. Alhamdulillah. Allah Hafiz.